Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so this is going to be the second part of the first responder first aid kit. And the first one I went over a lot of the contents, and the contents was huge. It's about a 40-minute video, but I think ideally it will cover pretty much everything that you can do on the roadside or in an emergency situation. You're not doing surgery. You're on the road, you're in the forest, you're in a desolate area, something happened really bad, and you need to help somebody, yourself, or your family. This part is going to be more along the lines of the kit itself, what you should bring, maybe not bring, the size of the kit, that type of thing. I think a lot of people will do very well with just something that's a level 1. You could buy these at Wally World or something like that, and it's a very small kit. It even comes in its own plastic carrier, and it's about $10 to $12. But it only has the very basic necessities like band-aids and ouchie aids and Tylenol, you know, maybe a space blanket, finger bandages, some tape, gauze, that kind of thing. And that's great for somebody that has kids, or it's a very small or maybe a household item. But it doesn't always cover everything that's trauma. So you got to understand there's a level 1 and a level 2. Level 1 is going to be your boo-boo ouch stuff, and level 2 will probably be your trauma kit. And again, I don't want you to get wrapped around the axle of what you know, always carrying a trauma kit. It is good to be prepared for the worst. However, it's not always necessary. Okay, and I'm going to go into a little bit, a little of that. All right. So what we got here is a couple of kits that I have that are my personal kits. I want to say Adventure Medical kits are excellent. You could also go with the Johnson & Johnson kits, and of course you see a couple FAKs here. Now, when it comes to building your own kit, what you want to decide is, what is this kit for? Is it for like a big family outing or a hurricane or an emergency car kind of thing? Or maybe it's just for the house, for the kids, for the boo-boo ouch stuff. Or maybe if you are going into the woods for an extended amount of time, or you're an adventure runner or a hunter, you might want to look at some of the Adventure Medical kits. If you are somebody that is like a police officer or military or some type of security officer, you might want to look at the FAKs. Alright, so you want to kind of gear your kits before you start building them. What's this for? Now, we'll start with the FAKs because they are the most common. The FAKs that I have here, this is a regular, basic Condor military FAK. And what you want to fill this with, and I'm not sure, I think the zipper might be broken on this one. I got it to work. What you want to fill this with is primarily trauma kit. Okay, there's not a lot of stuff in here. There's everything to pack wounds, seal up wounds, clear wounds, nasal airways, that kind of thing, some duct tape, and tourniquets, obviously, to stop the bleeding. So this is essentially a big stop the bleeding so the guy doesn't die kind of thing. Something like this is great in a tactical or combat environment, but not necessarily the greatest thing if you're going on a family picnic. Okay, so you kind of see where I'm going with that. This is another one that I forget who makes this, but again, this was made essentially for the cargo pocket. It is a little bit thick, but you can fit this in a cargo pocket. It has kind of like a flip design, and again, quick clot, some tape, some gloves, a scissor, triangle bandage, and it has this nice little fold over piece right here, which again, you could fit it in your pack or your cargo pocket. Excellent piece of kit. If you are like a patrol officer, they sell these on Amazon. It actually has the belt loop instead of the MOLLE system, and it is Rescue Essentials. It says Patrol Officers, let's say, Trauma Kit, and it tells you what's in there. It's a SWAT tourniquet, Z-Pack, nitride gloves, and some duct tape. So it's a very, very small kit. But the idea behind this kit is an FAK, an individual first aid kit. It is for the person, the one person that is going to be you, ideally, if you are someone that is a run and gunner, if you are a patrol officer, or somebody that is, you know, military, you're going to most likely use this. It doesn't come with a lot of feel-good stuff. So your first aid ibuprofens and that kind of stuff, it's not going to come with that. It's just to pack wounds until you get medical help. This one happens to be for my range bag. I keep this one in my range bag all the time because it is nice and compact. It does have the MOLLE system, so if I wanted to put it on a MOLLE vest, I could do that, but I just throw this in my range kit. I like it because it's small, it's compact, and it has all my trauma stuff. Boo-boos and ouchies and all that kind of stuff, I keep it in a small little plastic bag, and I just throw it in another pocket in my range bag, okay? If you are someone that is going to, let's say, want to have a home kit or a home first aid kit, something for the family, I recommend something like this. This is, like, again, you can get them as small as this, or you can get the big OSHA box. For those that are not familiar with OSHA is, it's an organization primarily for workers that states that you have to have a certain amount of emergency supplies or a kit, and they sell them OSHA certified on Amazon, on any other medical website that you like. This one is not, but it has to have certain things such as like eye wash and clean bandages and stuff like that. And if an inspector does come to your workplace and it's not a first aid kit that's certified by them, you can get summonsed and all that other crazy stuff. Whatever. In any case, this is another kit by Johnson. This is a very old one, and this one is empty. Okay, there's nothing in it, but I like it because it has the big red cross on it, and you know where it's coming from. This one I used to use all the time, and I'll probably still use this. Believe it or not, like I said, when I was in the military, we always had our FAKs, but our FAKs didn't cover things, like I said, ouchie, boo-boo stuff. So what we did is, I used to carry a lot of moleskin in here, and bandages, and tape, and iodine solution. And if you are someone that has, for whatever reason, soft feet, like I've traveled, hiked probably my whole life, and I always wind up with blisters, this was my blister kit. So I had pain reliever in there, I had gels for anti-diarrhea stuff, you know, that kind of thing with this. Okay, so this is if I got shot, and this is for my everyday medical needs. Okay, now when we're talking, this is mostly talking about individual or maybe a small family type stuff. Okay, if we are talking like an emergency medical bag, this is where you're looking at multiple casualties, maybe a car wreck, maybe something happened, a forest fire, something like that, and you need to have a large amount of supplies. A bag like this is a duffel. Okay, it's empty now because I just got it and I'm still looking at it, and it has a whole bunch of pouches and stuff that you can fit stuff in here. This is a great duffel bag. That's something I would keep more along the lines of in a car, because in a car you're not carrying it every day. EMS workers do carry these large bags. They are duffels, but they are a lot better sorted out than that. That was only like $19 on Amazon, so it doesn't have all the pockets and dividers that you kind of want. In the military, we had a lot of guys, especially Navy corpsmen, carry something like this. Okay, this is essentially a platoon-sized medical kit, and I do have some stuff in here, but you can see that this has a lot of trauma stuff in here. This is going to have everything. This is going to have your boo-boo ouch stuff, your trauma kits, your medical shears, anything that you have to do field surgery in. This is probably what you're going to carry. Now, it is big and bulky. Some of the things I also put in here and I recommend is, if you can, and I think you could still buy these, this is what we would call, like, if I can get it out, this is a body bag. Okay, now any military operation, or anytime they do military operations, and where there is a good chance that someone's going to die, such as in a war, you're going to get body bags. All right, they may be green, they may be black, it doesn't really matter the color, but they are very strong, and they come with these heavy duty nylon strapping. What I use this for a lot is a self-made stretcher. Okay, you don't have to actually zip them up. You can just put them in, and it acts like a large parachute. And you could use it as a self-made stretcher, because I don't know if you've ever had to try to carry somebody that's absolute dead weight, but I could tell you for a fact they're very heavy, very difficult to control, and unless you have 4 people, it's going to be very difficult. But this bag is made by Black Hawk. You can research it. You can look for it on Amazon or any of those stores. But this is, you could just fill this thing up with a whole bunch of stuff. Has many pockets. Has pockets in the back, and the strapping and the webbing is all OD green. I'm sorry, it's all desert tan, and the webbing is just like a regular backpack. So a really cool kit. But again, this is for major trauma or multiple levels of casualties. Okay, so anytime there's a multiple level of casualties, such as 9/11, the Boston bombing, that's the pack that you would probably take. Now, speaking of Black Hawk, a lot of people use these, which is the Rolo kit. All right, this is the Rolo kit. It's kind of cool. You got like a whole bunch of pockets here, and I haven't used it yet. I got it on sale, which is why, because for a while they were selling for like 40 bucks, and then they kind of went down in price because, I don't know, either people stopped buying them or whatever the case, but I got it for like $10 off. So I was like, all right, 30 bucks, I'll buy it, no big deal. But it's cool. It's a very cool, you could put all your supplies in there and roll it up and then stick it in your pack. This is something I would use 10 more towards the outdoors, simply because you can hang it up on a tree and you can hang it up this way and see the stuff that you have. You can also use it instead of medical supplies, as you can put your foodstuffs in there, or snacks, or gun cleaning kits, or whatever it is. So it's multi-purpose. A lot of people use it as a hygiene kit, so you can use that as well as a hygiene kit. Now, when it comes to the outdoors, because everybody knows that I love the outdoors, I love being outside, I tend to carry one of these kits. Now, this is from Adventure Medical Kits, and as you can see, it even tells you on the side of the package, group size 1 to 4, okay? Probably about 1 to 4 days. And it tells you that it's good for hiking, boating, climbing, and camping. It even has symbols so you don't have to read. And it has instructions, and I don't want to pull this out, but it tells you all the kit that's in here. It has a little bit of bleeding stuff, but again, this has a lot of stuff for injuries to the foot, to the ankle, to the elbows, eye wash, that kind of stuff. There's no trauma stuff in there, okay? So if you want, you can put it in there, but now the size of the kit is getting too big. It might get very heavy. When I'm hiking and trekking, I'm not thinking of FAKs. Although you can pack a SWAT T tourniquet, which I think I threw in there just because, but you don't really need a tourniquet. I mean, ideally, the worst thing that's going to happen to you in a hiking situation is you fall off a cliff. That's probably more dangerous, having a mechanical injury or getting lost, than getting attacked by a wild animal. You know, hunting season is off season, so no one should be hunting out there. And if you're like me and carry a firearm, you shouldn't really have to worry about animals too much. Falling off a cliff, injuring your ankles, your knees, your elbows, having a reaction to either the pollen or a flower, or you wiped your butt with, I don't know, maybe some, you know, poison oak or poison ivy, calamine lotion, put that stuff in there. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to run into. Ideally, when I've trekked many miles, ibuprofen was the biggest thing that I needed. Water and ibuprofen and some snacks. That's pretty much where I'm at. Good set of shoes, change your socks often, maybe a little bit of powder. You're good, all right? Very small, lightweight kit. If you are going hunting, I tend to go a little bit with this. This is the Sportsman series. This is a medical kit, again by Adventure Medical's. AMK is excellent, and it tells you little symbols because they dummy proof it for hunting, fishing, four-wheeling, camping, and it's good from 1 to 7 people. I don't really know anybody that hunts with, you know, or maybe camping or ATV. I kind of get it, but this is not so big that I couldn't put this in my camping kit or my hunting backpack or something like that. Some people want to scale it down. The biggest problem you have there is obviously the same reason, is that another hunter mistakes you for a buck, a bear, an antelope, whatever, and he shoots you. Now you got to start to think about trauma. So that kind of thing is a little bit different, which is why this trauma kit is a little bit bigger. Also, what I like about this kit, this happens to be the Bighorn, and they sell different ones, is that it's all neatly labeled and it's in waterproof bags. So you can see here that I do have some material. So if you sprain an ankle, you got a tourniquet, one bandage for trauma, triangle stuff, and this is all the antiseptic cream, ointments, splinters. And in the back here, I think it's in this one, it actually comes with a really good wilderness travel and medicine guide. All right, so if you completely don't know what the hell you're doing, or you got into a lot of trouble, you hurt yourself, again, this kit is great. It gives you pretty much everything. So if you don't want to do the research, I highly recommend this company, Adventure Medical Kits. They have all types of sizes and kits for the person, for every needs. And on the back of it, it even tells you what's included in the kit. These kits will probably run you about 50-60 bucks. They're not exactly cheap, but they give you most of the stuff that you need. Ideally, you want to put something in there also for like hypothermia, because most hunting seasons are in the winter, so you got to think like that. You got to think hypothermia. You got to think you're going to be out there for a long extended time. If you're in the real Arctic, you got to start thinking about frostbite, heating aids, that type of thing, lotions, whatever it is. Lastly, I want to talk about my homemade kits. Again, you don't have to go crazy on buying the stuff with the fancy lighting or writing on it. What I like to do is always have something that is bright and orange and has the Red Cross on it. And the idea behind that is if you are incapacitated, if you cannot speak, if you haven't told anybody, at least this identifies something as a first aid kit. So if you have to send somebody back to your car, or somebody else goes to your car or your house or your ATV, whatever it is, they know what a first aid kit is. This does not look like a first aid kit. This does. So what you can do with this is just an old shoe box. You can put first aid. You can write first aid on it. You could, get some tape, some red electrical tape, and put a cross on there. But again, this kit is something that I made by myself, and it's not full. It's got a bunch of stuff that I just kind of threw in here. It has a little bit of boo-boo stuff. It has a lot of gauze. It doesn't have much trauma in there, but it has some in case I need to stop bleeding. But this is more for like a home kit. It does have a cold compress in there. And something like this I would keep on like a camping or family outing or something like that, where if you have kids running around, you can take care of them, okay? Like I said, the Black Hawk thing is very excellent, but again, it's just all black. It doesn't tell you at all that it's a medical kit. So what I would tend to do is either get a patch, get a label, something that identifies this as a medical kit, because if you're down and out, you're not going to be able to identify it, or somebody else will not be able to identify it, more importantly, and that can cost you somebody's life. So that's about as far as I'm going to go with the first aid kits themselves. I think if you are somebody that is, able to give somebody life support or able to fix somebody, you absolutely should. There's many state laws now that just say, if you by yourself help somebody, you will not be or cannot be sued, because what you're doing is you're trying to provide first aid for somebody. I know a lot of people that stand around and take video instead of actually getting down and helping somebody. So do yourself a favor, get your training, go to the American Red Cross.org. There are plenty of classes that you can take. I highly recommend the first responder course. I highly recommend the wilderness first responder course. And depending on where you live, either in a desert or in a cold environment, you might want to take those courses as well. They're usually good for about 2 years, and then you'll have to recertify. As always, guys, if you are looking for an excellent handmade knife, please go to threeriverblades.com. Take a look at all the knives that I got up there. Stay safe out there, and stay tuned for part 3. Thank you very much. Bye.